If you're having any difficulties accessing anything in this video tutorial, please contact our help desk by email at aoe.gmshelp@vermont.gov or by phone at 802-479-1044. We will help you find alternative means to access this information. If you are looking for more information on accessing the GMS platform, please see the GMS user manual located in the training section of the GMS landing page. This is a training session for completing the continuous improvement plan within the new grants management system being brought online for the 18-19 school year at the Vermont Agency of Education. We're looking right now at the GMS landing page for the production environment. As you begin working on your continuous improvement plans, this assumes that you've gained access into the system, been able to log on, and have some familiarity with the basic navigation of moving between tabs within the grants management system. Other training videos will be located here on this landing page regarding how to get user IDs set up, gain the access you need, and navigate through the system. Today we're going to be filling out a sample continuous improvement plan for Wyndham Central. We've moved over into the test environment, and I'm going to log in with a made-up user ID, John Smith. And this is how most of you will log into the system, with an email address, and your initial password will be sent to you after you go through the forgot password process. When you log into the system, you'll see this link that says GMS Access Select, and this is where we're going to be completing continuous improvement plans here today. We click on the GMS Access Select link, and here for FY19, specifically for Wyndham Central, this individual I've logged on with has rights to create applications or create improvement plans for Wyndham Central. The only option we've got made available for this session is to create the CIPs, or the continuous improvement plans. You'll notice there's two sections to this page: the created section, currently that's empty, and the available section, and the only thing that's available to be created right now are the continuous improvement plans. Now, because each SU will be submitting CIPs for both the SU as well as all of their schools, you need to click on this black chevron here to the left to expand and say, well, which school is it that we want to be creating right now? And in this case, we're actually going to open up this drop-down list here and select the SU itself. When I pick the SU from the list and click on the Create button over here to the right, that causes the actual application to open. Now, in the top right of every web page in the system is a link to return to the Access Select page. And when I click on that, you'll notice that now I have in the Created section the continuous improvement plans, and when I click on that chevron, you'll see only Wyndham Central, the SU. They're in created, but they're no longer available to create Wyndham Central. They've left this list of available buildings, available schools to create. So now we don't have to complete this entire CIP within one session. I'm going to re-click on the Open button, which is what you would do if you came back the next day and wanted to work on your plan further. And we begin to see the actual web pages that represent the continuous improvement plan. Starts with a CIP Overview tab, which has some basic information about how to complete the continuous improvement plan, and notes that the funding applications such as the CFP or Perkins or IDEA are dependent upon your CIP being submitted to the agency. The next tab over is Contact Information, where we'll ask for some basic information. Now, at the beginning, if you were submitting on behalf of your SU or your LEA, we don't need information about who the principal is at the school. Whereas if we said, well, this is for a school, then we're going to ask you to indicate the contact information for the principal. So since I'm submitting on behalf of the LEA here, I'm simply requested to type in their contact information. And I'm going to deliberately leave this last name, their title, blank, for example, to show you how an error message would occur. When I hit Save, it's going to say, you haven't filled out all the required fields that have an asterisk next to them. And that's because I left their title and their address and other fields blank. For purposes of this training video, I'm not going to complete this page right now. I'm actually going to click on the Phase 1 tab. And because I've put data into this page that hasn't been saved yet, There are times that you're going to see a message that will say, do you really want to leave that page? We didn't see that there because we haven't installed it yet, but that's something designed to reduce the risk of data loss. When I clicked on phase 1, you'll notice a second row of tabs open beneath that. This is for the parts of your CIP that's going to be submitted here in March. And the first thing that we're going to be asking you about is who were the collaborative stakeholders that were involved in the development of this plan? There's links here available that you can click on that will bring up information relevant to the completion of the continuous improvement plan. But we want you to put in, multiple people's names here. All the people that were involved in the completion of the actual plan here. Donna, is there anything else that you'd like to add on this particular page about any other information that they should be providing here?
If possible, it would be appreciated if you would also add the title and role responsibility for the individuals. For example, curriculum director, teacher leader, K through 12, those sorts of role identification.
Great. Thanks, Donna.
You're welcome.
As with other parts of the system, you have the ability to upload documents, and in this case, we've said please upload the school board minutes, the school board meeting minutes where this plan was approved. So you can click this upload box, select a file off your local computer, and upload that, as long as it's a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, or a PDF. We need you to check off to say that you have the approval of the school board members that regarding this plan being submitted, and that if it's a Title I school that you're submitting this for, that it adheres to the Title I school program requirements. And here's a link to get some information about the school-wide plan checklist. Again, I'm going to move on without completing this entire page. Now, because I didn't actually hit save, that's where it gave me this message that said, do you want to leave? And I'm going to say, yes, I really do want to leave. And so I've lost the data that I just typed in there. The next page is about assessing needs and innovate. And this is where we're asking you to provide some narrative information to these questions. Do either of you want to expound at all about what the information that we're asking? We've got Jesse Roy and Donna Stafford in here with me during this training session. These questions are pretty self-explanatory in terms of what we're asking you to provide. You'll notice that they use the functionality of the system where you can bold or italicize or underline text if you have some reason to want to do that.
I think it's important too to note, Dan, that the sequence of questions follows the CIP template that is posted on the Education Quality Assurance Team website. So that guidance is available in 2 different locations for them.
Yeah, and just another plug for some of the supports we've already created around that template and the page that now appears in MTW is that, accessing things like the Education Quality and Continuous Improvement Framework will be very valuable resources for completing these narratives.
Thank you. As we move past the needs assessment and into entering your CIP goals, the first page is simply where we're asking you to enter the title of the goals that you will be completing. You must complete at least 1. You can complete as many as 5. And what we're asking you for here is a short 25-character description of those goals. And please note that these goals will be copied into the investments page of your CFP and some of the other funding applications. So, for example, I'll type in one of my goals. I'm simply just going to type in sample goal title here, and you'll notice that the character count told me that I used 22 of my 25 characters. When I save that, that's acceptable because I have finished at least 1 of these goal titles. Now, you'll notice if I go into CIP goal number 2 right now, since I don't actually have a goal number 2, that page is blank. There's not anything for me to complete here, and the same is the case for goals 3 through 5. But for goal number 1, where I did enter a title, we've copied in that sample goal title here, and this is where we ask you to select 1 EQS from the drop-down that you'll be focusing this goal towards. Which focus areas are applicable to this goal as well. This is check multiple focus area boxes here. We're asking you, what is it that you want to accomplish, and entering text. Is this a new goal, or is this an ongoing goal? Is this a sustaining goal? And then for each of the goals for goal number 1, you have the opportunity to enter in 3 different change ideas to how that goal is going to be achieved. 1 change idea is required, but you can do 2 or 3 change ideas. And so the change idea title might be entered here. What changes can we make, or did we already make, that will result in improvement? Type in that narrative here. How will we know our changes resulted in an improvement? Again, entering narrative information there. You'll notice these checkboxes here at the bottom and say, well, if I'd like to enter a second or a third change idea, by checking this checkbox, it expands more questions where you can fill in additional change ideas relevant to this goal. So you may have as many as 3 change ideas per goal. You must have 1 goal. You can have up to 5 goals. And then at the bottom of the page, we ask you, which funding sources do you anticipate contributing funds to that will achieve the goals that you've described here? And I'll go ahead and check on CFP programs, for example. Then I hit Save Page, and I got some error messages because I hadn't picked an EQS, and I hadn't picked at least 1 focus area. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those out, and I'll just type Q1 or Q1 to illustrate, to get past the validation in the system, but we obviously want you to put some meaningful data into these fields before you submit these. Now when I resave the page, as I've filled in all the required fields, oops, I skipped new or ongoing. So I say it's a new goal, and now I hit Save Page, and that's been recorded. That's the process for entering CIP goals, change ideas, making sure we know who worked on your plan. Ultimately, you move over to this Submit Phase 1 tab, which is something where we're here in the month of March. We want the initial Phase 1 submitted. We have to run the consistency check. This is a process talked about in other training videos, but this is editing to make sure that we haven't skipped any parts of the application. And I didn't fill out my contact information page. But ultimately, once the consistency check passes, you'll see a button here on this page that says Submit to AOE, where Donna, Jesse, and others here at the agency will begin reviewing your application and be able to provide some feedback. They will either accept your application, or if they have to return it back for changes, they have a checklist that you'll be able to view by clicking on this Review Summary button. And since it hasn't actually been returned for changes, there's nothing to see right now. But clicking on this Review Summary button will lead you to the comments that the team here at AOE has entered regarding what it is that they'd like to see before you are able to resubmit your plan. That's it for the technical details. Donna, Jesse, anything you'd like to add? Okay. Again, for technical issues that may arise with the system, please notice the help desk email down here. If you have programmatic questions about how you want to go about entering change ideas or actual goals, please call the team here at the agency, where they'll be able to provide some support to you. That ends this training recording. Thank you very much for your time.